Hello, Sandman Nation, and welcome back to episode 80. And boys, Bierman is in a great mood today. I'm down in Florida for the week with Jamie visiting her parents. It is beautiful down here. The sun is shining. Selection Sunday is less than 2 weeks away, and life is pretty damn good. So let's keep the good times rolling because it is time to enter Sandman Sports. As you can see, we do not have our normal third host with us, as the incredibly awesome Pat Klatt couldn't make it today, and we'll miss you, buddy. But we are lucky to be able to rely on a few super subs. And with us today is one of those, Mr. Sunshine himself, the awesome Mike Paston. Welcome back, Mike. Great to see you again, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always, buddy. And with us, as always, is a man who has never seen a rainy day in his life, despite living in Seattle. The one and only, the super positive Sandman, Mr. Bill Sanders. Boys, it is freaking awesome to see you both. All right. Well, you both know what time it is. So let's jump right into it. That's right. It is time for today's random questions of the day.
It is time for the random questions of the day.
Paston, it is your turn to go first, sir. So we're going to just throw you right into the fire, man. You ready?
Ready.
All right. So again, I'll ask it. We'll give you a minute to think about it while I go to Bill for his. What is one thing that you have done once, but will never do again? Okay. One thing that you've done once, but will never do again. Bill, here we go. I am very interested in your answer to this one.
All right.
All right. Would you rather have a street named after you or a school?
Haven't they done both already?
They will at some point if they haven't already. Yes.
It's a good point, Mike. It's a good point. All right. I would, but this is my gut. I'll always go with your gut. I'm going with the street.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the reason that it just jumped right out to me is I think about famous streets in and around the Seattle area well before I think of any sort of school.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be a little egotistical on this one, I'm like, hey, well, I'm going to have the famous street outside a stadium district or something like that.
Sanders Boulevard. Where you guys partying
Sanders
tonight?
Boulevard.
Let's go to Sanders Boulevard. It's the place to be.
Yeah.
I like it. All right.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, I mean, definitely more people, I think, would see a street or use a street or know a street. So okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, Passon. What do you got, man? What's something you've done once that you would not do again?
This is easy. Parasailing.
Oh wow, you've parasailed.
Oh my goodness. Awful experience. They did it in Mexico. You take off your glasses so you don't lose them. They hook you up. That boat starts going, you run, and you're up in the air. And first of all, I couldn't see anything. And I was nauseous as can be. And they said when you went up, if you want to come down, just tug on the rope. I'm tugging on this rope. Nobody's paying any attention. I'm flying around. I spent the whole time trying to decide if I'm seasick or airsick because I'm on a boat. I'm attached to a boat, but I'm flying in the air. And I'm just like, let me down. This is an absolute nightmare. I can't see a thing. I'm vomiting. They're pulling the rope. Awful. I will never again. Never again.
How long were you up there?
Oh,
too long. Way too long.
Do you remember? I mean, is it like 15 minutes or is it like an hour?
No, probably more like 15, 20 minutes. It was, oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that would not be for me. I am the least adventurous guy, but Paris. How high up are you on parasailing, Mike?
I don't know.
Got to be.
You're up there.
It's a long
feet. Rope. Yeah, it's a long rope, and you're up there.
Yeah,
it's just not good. No,
I feel like that's one of those activities that you get talked into, and it looks like it would be super fun, and then everybody I've ever talked to that's done it is like it's the worst thing of all time.
Yeah. Mine would probably be rappelling. I actually rappelled one time down like a cavern. And this was when I was younger, had no fear, and was like, okay, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Literally, you go through this little hole and then the cavern opens up and it's just, and you're harnessed in and everything. It gets stuck. The harness got stuck, and I'm literally just hanging there in the middle of this giant cavern, and they can't like come get me. So the guy's like yelling at me like how to untangle the rope. So I'm having to untangle this rope by myself. My mom is down waiting for me, bawling, screaming, thinking that her little boy is gonna plummet to his death. Yeah, it was so I probably wouldn't do that again. That wasn't the best experience.
No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, boys, I do know someday there will be a Sandman Sports Junior High School. I just feel it. And our nickname, you guys know what our nickname is going to be? It's going to be the Fighting Helmets in honor of Pat Klett. And
Nice.
perhaps we can be at that dedication when ground breaks. But for now, we'll stay focused on our awesome website content. So head on over, check us out at sandmansports.com. I do have to brag a little about 3 recent series where our writers are just totally crushing it. First, we have Sam Cox, who is writing just awesome, super thorough, super robust previews for every single Major League Baseball division, breaking down each team's strengths, weaknesses, key additions, major losses, top prospects, and even a predicted record for every team. No series will get you more prepared for the season than this one. And then Jake Ciancio is also covering baseball, and his series is all about looking at the top 10 players at each position heading into 2026. So far, he's covered the entire infield, including catchers and pitchers, and the outfield spots will start this week. So give those a read. And finally, if you're having a football hangover, no worries there, as Tyler Hedman is covering every NFL division and spotlighting the top 3 needs for all 32 teams as we head into free agency and draft season. And of course, March Madness is coming up fast. We have plenty there, including weekly conference power rankings and bubble watch and bracketology predictions. So all that will get you pumped up and ready too. As we ask every week, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Every like, follow, and comment means a lot to us as we continue to grow and get our name out there. So we appreciate any help you can give us. All right, guys. Well, let's get into the opening. As I mentioned, I am in a great mood today. I know we bitch and complain a lot here, and that certainly is fun. But today I'm in Florida. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and I am just loving life. So today is going to be all about happy, positive vibes. Today, it's going to be the opposite of pet peeves. We love doing our pet peeves. Today, it's going to be the opposite. I want to talk about the little things that make you happy, not the obvious stuff like spending time with family and all that. Those are no brainers. I mean, the small, everyday wins, things like hitting every green light, finding the perfect parking spot, the smell of freshly cut green grass, someone just doing something nice for you, holding a door open for you. The little things that make us smile and remind us this cold, dark world might not be that bad after all and can actually bring some nice feelings every once in a while. And then after we share those, I'm going to ask each of you to share 1 or 2 pieces of specific good news from the last week or two, personal, sports, anything, just something positive you found out or experienced recently that is good news and that you are willing to share. All right, well, let's get the good times rolling. Positive Paston, start us off, sir. What are some of the little everyday things that just bring you a little bit of joy?
Okay. First, college campuses. I just love being on college campuses, especially on a nice day. There's something just wonderful. And,
good one.
the outside world's not really there. People are happy. I could sit there all day. It's really a pleasure. And I try to visit as many as I can. And it's
So real quick, I got to ask. So you just recently, you were telling me before the show, you've gone to 3 college campuses to see college basketball. You went to Illinois, Purdue, and Northwestern.
right.
Rank those 3 in terms of campuses.
Illinois first.
Hmm.
I'll go Purdue second.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
Northwestern, because it's always too cold with that lake
It is
wind
right. Yeah.
breeze. And it doesn't have quite the vibe as the other two, which are bigger and more vibrant, I think. But I've now been to all of the Big Ten schools, and
Okay.
I'm working on ranking those. It's been tough, and I'll continue my quest to go to
Yeah.
every college campus in America.
I love it, dude. I love
Yeah.
it. I've been to a lot of college campuses, a lot of games. I've actually not been to Purdue or Northwestern, and I've heard mixed things about Purdue. I really can't say I've heard anything about Northwestern, to be honest. But I've stopped through Lafayette a million times, but I've never actually gone to their campus. So we'll
It
need to
was
someday. Sorry.
yeah,
Keep going,
no,
buddy.
it was nice. Okay. Second, trains. I really like trains, and there's
Okay.
something relaxing and pleasurable about being on a train and staring out the window. Uh, I don't know. It brings me joy. It's all right. The trains are running on time. You get where you want to be. You don't have to worry about parking or any of that stuff. It's really nice. I like trains.
I'm sorry, dude. I keep hijacking your things, but now I got to ask you because I love trains too. It's not on my list, but have you ever done a passenger, like an overnight
N-
train trip?
No, but I
Okay.
will. I keep
Yeah.
looking at brochures.
So I want to too, although I will say real quick, a woman years ago was talking to, and her husband was out skiing, got injured to the point where he couldn't even fly. And so she flew out, got him, and they had to take a train trip back from Colorado to Ohio. And she was like, yeah, I was kind of looking forward to it, the romance, of it, blah, blah, blah. She's like, it was terrible. I hated every second of it. The room's so cramped. I don't know. But I still would love to. I'd love to do a Canadian Rockies or something and get one. I don't know. I'd love to do it. So, all right, Mike, I'm going to
All
shut up
right.
now.
I got
Continue
two
on.
more quick ones. On a nice day driving my convertible, it doesn't matter where I'm going. I'm happy. It just makes me happy. There's something about a convertible, and it's a great day. And
Yeah.
then my last one, I coach a lot of rec basketball. I mean, not coach, referee. I'm sorry. And when a parent that you've never seen before after the game just says thank you for reffing, that was a good game. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because the whole game, they're not always nice during the game. But after the game, when a grandparent or a parent just says, good job, ref, that's really makes my day. So there you
Yeah.
go.
The
Love
power
that.
of a few positive words can go a long way. So that's awesome. Great job, Mike. Love those. What about you, Bill?
Yeah, great list, Paston. I love your last one as well. Just being a coach, I always try to make sure that I let the ref know how much I appreciate them being there because it's so hard in today's day and age with youth sports to referee. I mean, it's just you're the enemy of both sides. No one thinks you can see. No one thinks you know what you're doing. So I also echo that. I appreciate you being out there and doing that for all those kids because out here in the state of Washington, there's a huge gap in just getting quality referees into our high school soccer games. It's really difficult. So anyway, that's a great one. Love it. So my list. I'm going to start off with parasailing. It's my number one thing. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know what I love? What makes me happy? My kids being nice to each other. So I have 3 kids, and there's just nothing that warms my heart more and makes me happy than seeing them interact and be friendly and be friends. They are friends. They really love each other. And it's just I have so many other friends who their kids, it's not that way. And my oldest Isaac is 8 years older than my youngest Will, and that's a big age gap. But to see them find common ground and interact with each other, it's just always such a nice thing. So that was my first one. I love seeing pompous coaches lose. It makes me happy. And I'm not even, I mean, there's a zillion that you could point to. In fact, all professional coaches, and probably even you could say college coaches are professional coaches. Now, you almost have to be pompous, I feel like, at that level to have some success. Eric and I have talked a lot about Harbaugh. You have to be. So I'm even thinking of go down a level. Like I love beating the guys at high school. 4A soccer in the state of Washington's very quality soccer, and there's just a few guys. You got a bunch of stars on the back of your kit, you know, you've won a bunch of state championships, and there's great coaches like that. And I'll think Jason, who actually listens and watches us at Issaquah High School, he's a fantastic dude. Love the guy. But that's just something that gives me such happiness. Like just putting those guys in their place, I think is just really fun. Stay with the soccer theme for a second. I love seeing a kid overcome something negative on the field. And the example I would use is a girl misses a penalty kick. She's crying because she feels like she let her teammates down. And then to see her want that ball the next time it happens, put that thing down on the PK spot and bury the shot. It just gives me such happiness to see kids overcome their failure, overcome their fears, and step up and deliver for their team the next time. So that one really makes me happy. I love campfires. I think Eric and I might share this one. I love campfires. It makes me happy sitting around with friends, with family, having some drinks, listening to tunes. Just hard to beat that kind of night, especially when it's kind of cold out. I just love that. Makes me happy. And then the last two real quick. I love music overall, but I love a song that includes a round. I don't, my wife, Marcy, I will always kind of laugh and chuckle about this, but if there's some sort of like rock song that incorporates that, or I'm not talking about like Mary Had a Little Lamb or Row, Row, Row Your Boat or something. I'm like talking about actual music. And I just love that. It just, out of whatever it is, it makes me happy. Kind of a sing along with
I
a
love it.
little round element. And then my last one and my favorite thing, this ties in a little bit to, I think to what Mike was saying about his convertible. You just give me a full tank of gas and I am such a happy guy. Like it symbolizes so many things to me. Freedom. You can go wherever. And that every time I just always talk about that. I love road trips. Makes me happy. I love a full tank of gas. So that's my list. How about you, Bierman?
Love it. Love it. We'll start with that first snowfall of the year. About a month later, I'm always wondering why I got happy about that, but I do love something about
Yeah, that's a
seeing
good one.
those first flakes of the year fall down. And it always makes me happy when we have snow on Thanksgiving and on Christmas, as long as my kids are the ones shoveling it. One of my favorite, just simple things to do, and Bill, you mentioned it, and we've experienced this together, is just sitting outside by my fire pit, watching a game on TV, drinking some beer, seeing those flames crackle. It is truly one of my happy places, and we do it every night if possible. This one doesn't happen enough, but I love when I get a good picture of me taken. That puppy gets put up everywhere. So we like when that happens. This one is more expensive and happens much less frequently, but I always love buying a new car. It's just fun to test drive, determine which one I want. And then when I do buy one, the first 6 months to me is just so fun. I'm usually making up excuses to drive somewhere just so I can be in that car. Eventually that feeling fades, but for a while it's awesome. I've recently experienced this one when I lose some weight, always hearing the first compliment of someone noticing it. That just feels awesome because it tells me something is working. Of course, from a sports world, I love that first kickoff of the very first game of the season because it tells me we have football for quite some time now, and it makes me really happy. And then from a hoop standpoint, I know Bill knows this. I am a sucker for that one shining moment montage. It just gets me every time. And I could just have those from the time they started, which I think was 1985, maybe 86, something like that. I could just have a running loop of those constantly. I love them. And then finally, I just love small world stuff, like running into people in the most random spots. And I got to tell this most recent story that just happened to me on Saturday. So at our club in Cincinnati, we had a server there for years named Tanner, who was just awesome, would take care of us on our club poker nights, of course, our league golf nights, all that. He worked there for probably 4 years, maybe even longer. Everyone loved him. He's a young guy, though, and eventually he decided he wanted to get out of Ohio. He moved to Florida last year. I had no idea where to. But my in-laws picked us up from the Tampa airport on Saturday. We drove for about 30 minutes toward their house and then just decided to get something to eat, randomly stopped at the next exit, went into a Ford's garage, which, by the way, is an excellent restaurant. Love that place. I don't know if they're everywhere in the country, but it's a great
We ate
chain. I
there.
love it. Yeah.
But at yours.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
eat there. Yeah. I love that place. So sure enough, we're sitting down. I look up and I see Tanner as a server. It was crazy. I immediately went over. His eyes flew wide open, gave me a huge hug. I think he likes living down
Wow.
there, but I also think he enjoyed seeing someone, from home, and it just definitely put a smile on both of our faces. And of course, we spent a few minutes catching up. So that was just very cool, and stories like that just make me happy.
It's
Well,
nice.
guys, yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for sharing
good
those
list.
happy vibes. I appreciate that. But let's get a little more specific before we move on. I would love for each of you to tell me at least one piece of good news in your lives the past week or two. Can be personal, work, sports, whatever. Just want some good news. Mike, lay it on us.
All right. Our local high school, both boys and girls, won their district basketball championships and are number one
Wow.
seeds in the state tournament. And that's no
Nice.
easy feat.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's huge.
There's about 60 schools in the district in their level, and it's very amazing, very impressive. And they built good programs, and they're both going to make a run at the state championship this year. So states get underway next week,
What's the name
or
of
this
the high school or
Upper
the school?
Dublin, suburb of Philadelphia.
Upper.
Dublin.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Dublin. Okay.
that's exciting.
Awesome.
And the second one, my fourth grandchild's on the way. So you
Oh,
guys know Matt and his wife
yeah.
Sammy. And I texted him and said, "Can I mention this as good news?" And he said, "Sure. It's a pleasure to bring another member of Sandman Man Nation."
Very
Congratulations,
nice.
Thank
Matt,
you.
if you're
Yeah.
listening. That's awesome. And congratulations, Mike. Very cool. What about you, Bill?
Well, I'll keep the family theme going. Not grandchildren yet. Still waiting on my first. But my wife, Marcy, just got to go down to visit our daughter, Sydney, in Sydney, Australia. And
Yeah.
Sid has been studying down there, studying abroad this quarter. So she's got a little less than a month left. But we were able to fly Marcy down and Sydney's boyfriend, Will, down to see her. And they had a great trip. But just seeing Sid, the pictures of her, just so happy to have that slice of home down there with her down under, it just warms your heart as a dad. I mean, wow. So, and I, as jealous as I was to not be able to go on the trip, I was so happy for my wife to be able to go down there and be with our baby girl. So
Flying in the boyfriend gets you one close step closer to the grandchild thing.
that's right. I know you're so right. Who knows? I mean, we might have an announcement like in a couple pods. Yeah, I know Sid sure was happy to see Will, and he turned 21 on the trip. So February 21st. So happy birthday, Will. And Marcy and I just love this kid. He's such a good dude. He treats our daughter so great. And he's built a really cool bond and relationship with our youngest son, Will, who he calls Willis, because we have so many Wills now and Bills around the house. It's ridiculous. So you say Will, and like you hear multiple people, what? Yeah, what? Not you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my kid. So anyway, yeah, it was just one of those things that what a treat to be able to do things like that. I think one, for Sid to be studying abroad, to be able to send our family down to see her, and can't wait for her to be home on the flip side. She's got a few more weeks, but yeah, looking forward to having her back in the States as well.
That's great.
Yeah, that is so cool. I saw some of Marcy's posts on Facebook being
Nice.
there, and it sounds like they had a great time. They took like a helicopter ride, I think.
I was going to say,
Sydney
maybe
Harbor
not
or
the thing for
something.
you guys,
Yeah,
you both.
yeah. I don't need to do that.
I was actually going to pull up a picture too and try to show you over the webcam, but Sid also did skydiving down there.
Oh,
And
God,
as
no.
we speak, she's at the Great Barrier Reef snorkeling with
what
sharks.
a life experience. I mean,
I know.
that's awesome, dude.
Awesome.
That
Great.
is so cool. So cool. All right, guys. So for me, I think you both know, I know Bill knows and I know Pat knows, but I play a sport called platform tennis. Some people call it paddle. It's kind of a mix between regular tennis and pickleball. It's a pretty popular country club sport in Cincinnati and in the Midwest. A lot of clubs in our area have several teams. Our league runs from October to March. It's a winter sport. You play outside. We play once a week on Wednesday nights, and there are, I think, 10 or 12 teams in our specific league for our division in the greater Cincinnati area, and we travel there, and then they travel to us. But I was getting frustrated in December because we were having to forfeit our third quarter all the time. You play every, you have 10 guys probably or so on our team, but each court you play 2 guys, so you play 6 each week, and we just did not have enough guys to even put our court 3. Well, how you win each week is you got to win 2 of the 3 courts, and so if we don't have court 3, we forfeit. We got to win our court 1 and 2, and it just puts a lot of pressure. So anyway, I decided to ask my son Brady if he wanted to join the team since we have a family membership. Even though he's at Miami, he has a car. I figured he could drive up once a week from Oxford if he was interested. He's pretty good at it. He actually played the sport a few years ago for the club, and he played high school tennis. So I figured he'd be a good fit. He and I started playing our court 1 together, and guys, knock on wood, but we have not lost a match yet. Last week, we beat the first place team, securing our spot in the 14 playoff at the end of March. So we may just win the whole damn thing. Who knows?
Nice.
But yeah, obviously, most importantly, it's just been so much fun playing with and hanging out with Brady. The first time out, like we had never played together. I mean, we've hit the ball around, but we've never played competitively. And, there's a little bit get used to, and I had to be like, okay, this is just mostly for fun. Let's just, I get too upset. And I think he probably felt the same way, but no, we've been gelling and we play really well together. So it's been fun. And like I said, wish us luck as the playoffs get closer. I'll keep you updated.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, gentlemen, nice job there. But let's get into the rest of the show now. In just a moment, we'll do this week's version of Be My Guest. And it will be time for hot takes and stone cold locks. And we'll finish with our top 5, which will be all about college hoops. And of course, we'll still have plenty of fun and shenanigans along the way, including Paston's intricate dissection of who would win in a street fight between a Philly cheesesteak and a Skyline chili 3-way. So looking forward to that one. All right, guys, it is time for America's favorite pseudo sports trivia guessing game on a podcast featuring 2 bald guys and a guy named Mike. You know what that means? It is time for Be My Guest. Well, as I've said several times already today, March Madness is coming up fast. There are several teams jockeying for the all-important and highly coveted number 1 seeds. So today, boys, we are all about March Madness and specifically number 1 seeds. I have a list of every number 1 seed since 1985 when the tournament expanded to 64 teams. So I want you to tell me the top 10 teams who have been seeded number 1 the most times in that span. Okay.
What's the first year?
1985. So since 1985.
Wow.
And that is 40 years through 2025. And the reason it's 40 and not 41 is the 2020 one was canceled due to COVID. So there are 160 different number 1 seeds. Not different, but obviously there's been 160 number 1 seeds over that 40-year span. And I want you to name me the top 10 teams who've been seeded number 1 the most times in that span. If you hit a top 5, it's 2 points. If you hit 6 through 10, it's 1 point. If you guess and miss it, it is minus 1 point. But guys, I am throwing in a bonus opportunity today, okay? So I want you to listen to this. There are 15 teams that have been a number 1 seed only 1 time, okay? So you don't have to do this when your turn comes, but if you want, you can try to guess those as well as a bonus guess. So you guess who you think's in the top 10. Then you can guess one of these teams that were seeded only once, a number 1 seed, along with your normal guessing. So you each get 7 total turns today. So you can use that and think about that, whether or not you feel like you need to go bonus points or not. All right, Paston, you get to go first, my friend.
Guess
right.
first.
This is a good one. Little early in the morning for this one, but I'll start with Duke.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually I kind of thought they'd be first. They're actually second with 15.
Really?
Okay.
Wow, okay.
15 times. So Paston, you got 2 points there. Do you want to take a bonus guess?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. We're not going to take a bonus
smart.
guess.
Smart.
All right, Bill, what do you
Veteran
got?
savvy. See, Pat would have went for it right
Pat
away.
would have went for it. Yeah.
And
Love you,
Minnesota would have been wrong.
I know. I know. I'll love to Pat. I'll only throw minimum barbs his way today. I'm going to go North Carolina.
Terrific.
North Carolina's tied for second with Duke, which I find kind of fun, ironic
is
there.
amazing.
But all right, yeah. So they have 15 as well, and let me mark that. All right, Bill. So you're tied right now. Do you want to do a bonus?
No.
Okay. So round one is complete, 2-2. All right,
All right.
Paston.
How about Florida?
Florida is not in the
Oh.
top 10.
I would
They
have
have
guessed that
only
too, Mike.
been a number one seed. Not only, I mean, it's still good, but they've been a number one seed 3 times,
Oh.
and that does not get them in the top 10. So
I wonder if
Okay.
it was like pre-Billy Donovan. They just weren't as good. I think of them being right up. I would have made that guess too. Arizona.
Amazing.
Arizona is 5. They have 7. So you sneak in there with a +2. Oh, wait, Mike, did you want to do your bonus guess or not?
No, I'm all right.
Bill, what about you?
No.
No. Wow, you guys are
The
not
negative
feeling,
points,
not
I'm
feeling,
a puss.
not feeling
Yeah.
confident. Okay. All right, Mike.
Virginia?
Wake up,
Virginia
sleepyhead.
they are just one tier below. They have 4, so they do not make it. So that is
Man.
-1.
All right. I'll take a shot
All
since
right.
I'm slipping
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I'll say
All right, go for it.
this is a team that's only been a number one seed once.
Once. 15 of them. Yep.
Gonzaga?
Again.
Gonzaga has been more than once.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
All
that's
right.
tough. I think I have one in my head for that, but I can't think of too many of those. All right, so top 10 number 1 seeds. Kentucky.
Glory be.
Kentucky is number 4. God, Bill is just
That's a good one.
disgustingly good
That's
at this
good.
game. Sometimes I just really have some hatred.
Bierman, you
spew
got to
out
jump in
towards-
on this one time and see if you can.
I know.
dethrone me.
We're going to do. No, I'm going to have Pat create one for us, and I'm going to go ahead and with you. I'm not sure
Why
I
am
can
I
beat
good
you.
at
You are
this?
good at
That's
this.
what I wanna
Of
know.
all the things. I know.
Of all the things, why am I good at
All
this?
right. Well, just FYI, we're done with 3 rounds. Bill has 6, and Paston is -1.
Oh,
So-
no.
All right. Hey, you
all
can
right.
get 4 at any one time, Mike. Just keep that in mind. Well,
got it,
for a little
Paston.
bit
You got
longer
it.
because there's only one in the top 5 left. So,
Only one.
Unfortunately, probably
and
not
it's number
Temple.
1, by the way. It's number 1.
Yeah, I thought I was going to hit that with Kentucky.
It's number 1.
It's a no. I mean, when you guys hear it, you'll be like, "How did I not guess this one?"
Michigan State.
So
Nice
Michigan State
job.
is tied for 7, so they got you a point.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you're
I
off
love that
the
guess.
schneid there. All right. Do you want to do a bonus?
No, I got to
No.
think
All
about
right.
it.
Okay. All right. Bill.
I'm going to stay out west, UCLA.
Sorry. Sorry.
UCLA, no.
Oh, wow.
They have
Okay.
only been 3 times since 1985.
Okay.
So,
Shoot.
all right. So you're down to
I
5.
thought they'd
Do you?
be. No
Nope,
reason
no
to guess.
bonus. All right. All
No
right,
bonus.
Mike. 3 rounds left.
All right. 3 rounds
It's
left.
5-0. 5-0. There's still a 2-pointer for the number 1.
Syracuse.
Failed.
You know, actually, Syracuse was lower than I thought. They have only been twice, but
Wow.
they have been twice. So,
Good
all
guess.
right. All right.
Maybe that Carmelo year, right? Were they a 1 seed? I don't know. Maybe they
I
weren't.
don't.
but-
They probably were. I don't know, but yeah. But I would have guessed more than twice.
Me too.
They,
I would have
yeah.
as well. I mean, Boeheim, most people hate him, but he's obviously was
Yeah.
pretty consistent. Kansas. Bierman.
Yeah, Kansas
Oh,
does 16 times. 16
Nice.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I'll throw my my
Oh, he's gonna give you a chance. He's gonna give you a
Yeah.
chance. Here you
Good.
go.
I'll
Not
throw
really.
I'll throw it out there for content. I can't remember if this might be the reason that this is right or it might be the reason it's wrong, and I'll explain. But I'm going with Cincinnati
Perfect.
Yeah, Cincinnati 1 time. That's
Good
correct.
job.
because I
That's
was thinking
fair.
of that Kenyon Martin year.
Yeah,
Remember that
yeah.
when he
I
got
actually,
hurt right before the
I'm
tournament?
actually not even did they end up getting a number 1 seed that year?
I
Was that
think
the
they
year?
moved them down to a 2 seed.
I think they
because
were
of
2
Kenyon
that,
Martin.
but they were number 1. One time they were
Yeah.
number 1. I don't know. I don't think it was that year actually, but yeah.
That's why I was thinking it was stuck in
good
my
job.
head as maybe
All
it would
right.
be wrong. All right.
That's good.
All right.
That's good.
All right. 2 rounds off. What do you got, Mike?
All right. I got a big problem is what I've got. Ohio State.
I said no.
So they are right in the next group. They're 4. They're 4, and the top 10 is 5. So they're there, but not there enough.
All right. I guess I got to go for this again, even though it's not working too well. Let's try Auburn.
Yeah, right.
Auburn has done it twice.
Every one of all my
man,
picks have
good
been
guess.
twice. Wow.
Good guess.
All right. What am I, -7, -8?
Yeah, you're you're -1 now.
Oh, all right.
I think.
There's like 700 more colleges, and it's like, boy, nothing jumping out at me, Bierman. I don't think this is right, but I'll throw Michigan out there.
Goodbye.
Michigan, no. They
I didn't like that guess.
3 times. 3 times they've been a number 1 seed, but all right.
No challenge
Yeah.
guess. I don't have anything on the tip of my tongue.
No challenge guess. Okay. All right. Last round. What do you got, Mike?
I got nothing. How about
like what other great coaches?
Tennessee?
Where are you?
Tennessee
No.
is not on the list, period. Like they've never been a
Never?
number 1 seed. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
All
I
right.
like the Huskies.
I guess I should take another shot at one-timers, even though all my guesses have been on twice. Indiana State.
No,
Gross.
because they might have been the number 1 seed,
Was
but
it
if they
before
were, it was
that?
in 79.
Yeah, I figured that.
So,
All right.
Let's.
Took a long shot.
Do I have one guess left?
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna. Mike just kind of popped this in my brain. How about Indiana?
I'm surprised you guys hadn't guessed that earlier. Indiana actually has only been 3 times.
Wow.
Been
Okay.
3 times.
And I'm gonna throw my Huskies out there for my challenge
baby.
guess.
you guys kind of should be ashamed of yourself. You didn't do that earlier. That is correct, dude.
Good
Yeah,
job.
because I was thinking that they've never been there, and then I'm like, wait, yeah, they were a 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So
We actually had
all
good
right,
teams under
well,
our
Bill won 9
job.
to -3.
Wow.
So. All right. So real quick, the other ones tied for 7 with 5 each. These 3. Purdue has been 5 times. Gonzaga, you mentioned Gonzaga as the number 1, but they've actually 5 times number 1 seed.
Wow.
Most of those recent. And then this one, guys, I was shocked. I never would have guessed this. Oklahoma.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oklahoma, a number 1 seed 5 times. Wow.
Wow. Good
All
for
right,
them.
and then real quick, the number 1's only 1 time. Mike, you may not be able to show your face in downtown Philly for a while. 2 of these teams are from Philly. Temple and St. Joe's have both been 1 time. And then, all right, who else? Wichita State, Wisconsin, Oregon, my Xavier Musketeers, Alabama, Missouri, Wake Forest, UMass, Maryland, Texas, and you were wrong, Mike, even beforehand. I might have got one right because under Clem Haskins, the Minnesota Golden Gophers in 1997 were a number 1 overall seed. So
that was a good question.
there you go. Yeah, that was
mighty
was fun. So I'll try and find another March Madness one next week as well.
Yeah, good category
to get us going. But
I should have put that on my happy list, Eric. This game, this contest that you do every week.
Dude. I mean, you're kind of
it's like
you're a dynasty, dude. You're the Alabama of.
Why do I know these things in life? That's what I want to know.
I really do want to go heads up with you. We got the pressure that I won't be able to sleep for days ahead of that.
You'll be researching random lists. of stuff. Yeah.
Like all that, or all the
like
research
Jeopardy
people do,
prep.
like before going out of Jeopardy. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. Dude. All right. Gentlemen, it is time for Hot Takes. That's right. Sandman Sports Hot Takes brought to you by Double Take Salsa. Double Take is where craft meets kick. They make salsa and hot sauce with fresh, top-notch ingredients, always putting flavor just slightly ahead of heat. The result? A bold taste you can't stop eating, followed by just the right level of spice to keep you coming back. For anyone who claims to love salsa, this one is a must. Head over to doubletakesalsa.com to order some, and be sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. All right, Mr. Paston, lead us off.
All
It
right.
is Hot Take time.
Yes, it is.
Hot takes.
This is from my most recent trip, and it probably is a mix with getting older, but I'm getting more and more frustrated with customer service that lacks common sense. So I had ordered 2 tickets on StubHub for the Oregon at Northwestern game. That was 3 weeks ago, waiting for them to transfer. Didn't happen. That morning, I get an email that says the seller has emailed you your tickets. Now, this game starts at 1:00 on Saturday. I don't have the tickets. It's now 12:00. I call StubHub customer service. I explain the situation. This woman, who was nice, spent the next 45 minutes doing I don't know what. She sent me 5 emails for me to confirm I got her email. I'm like, yeah, same email I got the last 4 times. And then she says at 20:01, I'm going to ask the seller to resend them now. This will take 30 minutes. I said, the game starts at 1:00. This phone call started 40 minutes ago. Why didn't we do this at 12:00? Well, I have to go through all the protocol till we get to this point. I said, forget it. And I hung up the phone. Like, if it's going to take 30 minutes to send me tickets and I'm talking to you 60 minutes before the game, why can't we just do that? Why do we go through all this craziness? And can I please put you on hold for another 4 to 5 minutes? And then she comes back and says, I sent you another email. Okay, I got your email. That was good. Let's do that again. I don't know. I'm getting less tolerant.
What'd you end up doing?
I went to the box office and I said, I bought these tickets. Here's my receipt. And the guy printed them out and handed them to me. Like I could have done.
Oh,
Yeah, I should have done that in the beginning. And I had no idea it was that easy. But I just, I don't know. I'm just get more frustrated. Not with.
So I don't like
kindness.
StubHub. I've had issues with StubHub. Just FYI, I use TickPick. Just if anyone cares,
They were better when
it's
it was just their tickets, but now they come from Axis or Ticketmaster or like for Purdue, I had to set up a Purdue account, and then the seller obviously had season tickets and they transferred them. So it's all the other interfaces that just seem to mess it up because it's StubHub, but they don't have the tickets. They didn't really go through them. They're just a conduit of some kind. So anyway, that's my first hot take. It's just like, let's just cut to the chase and tell them to resend the ticket from the get-go. And my second one also is related to the trip I just went on. College basketball games. The students are great. They got all these different cheers and, they carry on and they do their thing. But some of the adults at these games, especially these season ticket holders, they're mean. They have no tolerance. They micromanage a game they don't know much about. They yell at the players. They're just not happy. And they go to all these games and they're miserable. And I had to turn around at the Purdue game. The ladies complaining like they're 3-25. I says, you guys are in the top 10 every single year. You've won whatever it is, 20 some games. Like, be happy. Be happy. I come from a city where maybe one team's going to make the tournament. They all stink. Enjoy this a little bit. And all they do is this guy doesn't know how to shoot. He's never hit a clutch shot. The coach doesn't know how to substitute. How come that guy's on the bench the entire game? They just complain and complain and complain. I don't know why they even show up. I don't get it. So that's my complaint for the day.
Yeah.
They might have the National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
As well.
They have a lot to be happy about, and they were miserable. Miserable the entire game. I just don't understand it. Don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that. I mean, why don't they go to Heck Ed and watch the Huskies play? They'd actually have something to complain about.
Right.
But, well, those are good ones. Guys, this is one that hits kind of all the feels of one of my favorite golfers, as well as my golf pick of the week. And that was Sugar Shane Lowry's epic collapse in the bear trap.
That was
on
hard
Sunday.
to watch.
I was getting out of my truck to go play golf, which was fun because I hadn't played golf since last October. And with a couple of my bros, my old school buddies, two of my best friends in this world. And so it was really a beautiful day on Sunday out here, or out in Seattle as well. And Sugar Shane is up 3 with a few holes left to play and just hits one of the worst shots I think I've ever seen that guy hit. I mean, it was never even close to tracking to land. It was just right the entire way. He ends up doubling 15, doubling 16. Or was it 15 and 16 and 17? I might have the whole numbers wrong. But anyway, just shocking to see it. Felt bad for Shane. And boy, that stretch of holes. I mean, I'd never been fortunate enough to play PGA National, but if I ever get a chance to get down there in where similar to where you are now, right, Eric? Boy, it'd be fun to as a test just to see those holes. I mean, I don't know about you guys in golf, but when I step up to a tee box and I see just water right, that is like the fear-inducing shot shape for me. I'm like, oh no, like I got to hit this thing perfect. Anyway, just a bummer. I had Shane in multiple golf picks, pools, etc. On Sunday at some point. I'm like, nice, I'll get to use him again, because I was kind of hesitant to not, to use him in my one and done. And so anyway, just a bummer. That was a shocker. And then here's another hot take. And I'm really curious to hear your guys' take on this, because I just feel like I might just be way off base. I don't understand Major League Baseball teams' reticence to pull up young players. And you're seeing this right now with the Mariners, when it feels like we're a piece or two away. We don't need this kid to come up and be, Bryce Harper or Ellie De La Cruz, right? Just come up, let the kid get some experience, let him get a feel for the show, get out there. And then they just sit there in AA or AAA. And I understand they want to get him at bats, or they want to get him the innings or whatever. I get it. They want him to play. But I go back to my youth and I think of Edgar Martinez, who toiled in the minor leagues in AAA in Tacoma, Washington, with a guy named Jim Presley, if that name rings any bells.
Oh, yeah. Was
the
he
most
third base,
average
right?
major league third base, just the most average third baseman of all time. And meanwhile, Edgar did make the Hall of Fame, but he should have been up in the show 4 or 5 years before he was there. And that's just one example from my youth. Cade Anderson, Mariners first round pick, makes his major league debut over the weekend, strikes out the side. Bam, 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 strikes out the side. This kid is a stud at LSU. He's a little bit older. He's got tons of seasoning. How come they're not bringing this kid up? Find a role for him in the bullpen if he's not going to be one of your starting 5. I just don't get it. These guys are not that fragile. I mean, I'm sure there are examples of guys that people will bring up, and then their careers fall apart because they lose confidence as a 23-year-old hitter. But I can't think of any. I can't think of them. Instead, they just bring these guys up.
Yeah, I do think that's it, though. I think there's two major reasons, probably, maybe 3. I do think one is that's why they do it, whether or not it's founded or unfounded.
Oh, that's guaranteed why they do it.
They're afraid of getting this guy up too early and just losing confidence, and I think there's some truth to that. I think that can happen. So I can't give you any cases off the top of my head of when it happened, but
would they play? I mean, would they be starters? The guys you're talking about?
I think there's a good chance that Colt Emerson, who's one of the Mariner phenoms, could find a spot somewhere in the infield. and play it a lot. I mean, Brendan Donovan, who we brought over in the offseason from the Cardinals, is also a kind of a utility guy. I mean, he can play third, he can play second, he can play outfield. And so the Mariners have a bunch of these interchangeable pieces. And again, I just think, why not give him that experience? This is a kid you trust that is going to be a part of the organization for a long time. So if he comes up to the show and struggles and goes back down to the minors, is that really going to wreck this kid's confidence? I don't think so. These guys are like elite athletes. Some guys, sure. Yeah, I mean, it happens. But also think about the Jared Kelnicks of the world who you sit on and you sit on and you sit on, and then he finally has a good year. Maybe doesn't have as good of a section of the season. Trade him. Starts off on fire in Atlanta. Then all of a sudden it's like the guy may not be a major leaguer. Why not figure that out when the kid's 23 or 24 versus waiting until he's 27, 28?
I think that's the second reason, kind of. I think unless they know, or unless they feel they really need this player right now, if they're a top prospect,
There's value, yeah.
Especially with your team, with Seattle, for example, they may not know what they need or when they need it. And these are bargaining chips and pieces that they may need to or want to trade at some point. And they need that to look as shiny and new and as valuable as possible. They don't want to bring them up and have them fall flat in their face yet. They want that to stay in the back room. So everybody's like, hey, give me that guy. And I do think that's a big reality there. And then the third, I just don't know enough about the financial aspect of things. If there are cap hits, if there are advantages, disadvantages when they bring somebody up and then bring somebody down.
Yeah.
Maybe there's nothing there, but maybe there is, and that they have to think twice before they do that.
The trade value thing is real. It's a top hitter in AAA has a lot more value than a guy who plays once a week in the majors. And you're right. I think when they first come up, the clock starts for when they're eligible for free agency and all that stuff. So if it's whatever it is, 5 years, and 2 of them are wasted, being a spot starter, and then they get hot, all of a sudden you got to pay them before you would have. So I think there's, always follow the money. I think there's financial considerations as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. I also think, though, that there's like this international component to it where you see a lot of younger international guys coming up and getting a chance. And meanwhile, you got a bunch of college American kids that sit in the minor leagues. And it's just weird to me. I don't know. There's something about it that's I always just leaves a weird taste in my mouth because you don't see that with all the other sports. And I understand there's so much, they're so different. Obviously, you have minor leagues in baseball. You don't have that in football unless you want to count college. But anyway, just something that it's been eating at me this off season with the Mariners. Oh, one other quick shout out. Sorry, Bierman, before you go. Speaking of our title sponsor of the segment, Double Take Salsa, I'm actually having dinner with Bernie tonight. So Bernie Dillon, the owner of Double Take.
Hi, Bernie.
We're having dinner out here in Minneapolis. So thanks for being a supporter of the show and looking forward to some steak.
Awesome. Tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I will keep this first one quick. I know Scotty didn't play this past week, so he's kind of out of the spotlight. And I like him, but not nearly as big of a fan as Bill is. In fact, last year I wrote in my 6-pack several times that we need to pump the brakes on anointing him the next Tiger. But the facts pretty much spell out the case that we are watching an all-time great unfold before our very eyes. And here are some pretty cool facts. And by the way, this is the opposite of a hot take. So I'm not saying this is a hot take. I feel bad that I haven't been high enough on this guy. And I'm just really impressed with a couple of these things. So first, he turns 30 in June and already has 20 PGA Tour wins, matching only 2 other players in the history of golf to be able to say that. Any guesses as to who? Yep. Tiger and Jack. That's right. Those are the only 2 to ever do it. So that's impressive. He has 4 majors, and it's not if, but when he wins the U.S. Open, He will become only the 7th golfer in history, joining Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Rory McIlroy to have the career Grand Slam. McIlroy joined it last year after winning the Masters. But guys, this stat is just as impressive. It just came to an end, which is why I'm choosing to give Scotty some love today. Last week, he didn't play this past week, but the week prior, he finished 12th at the Genesis, breaking an all-time incredible streak. Prior to that finish, Scotty finished top 10 in 18 straight PGA events, not only making him number one in that statistic in the modern era, which basically started in like 83, most people would say. I think Byron Nelson had something like stupid like 65 or something like in the 40s, but in the modern era, 18 straight shatters the record of second place of 6. He's 6 above DJ Singh, who had 12 in his historic 2004 season. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Tiger is 3rd with 11. So Tiger had 11 consecutive top 10. Scotty had 18 just come to an end. So again, hardly a hot take, but just, he's just so good. And, I'm sure going to start up another streak this week.
Why do you think he's struggling on Thursdays this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're
really
right.
strange.
It's such a good question. It is. It is so strange. Because then how good has he been to climb back into contention?
To have to climb back. I know. If he just plays a little better Thursdays, he's winning those. I know.
Yeah. It might be this week. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, my second one, I got to talk once again about my Miami Redhawks because this is getting serious now. They're only 2 wins away from becoming just the 7th team in 50 years to finish the regular season undefeated. But it did not come easy on Friday night at 10-19 Western Michigan. Miami was down most of the game. We'll get to the finish in just a minute. But first, I want to talk about their coach, Travis Steele. You guys know I love a good coach/manager blow up. A couple weeks ago, Bob Knight's chair throw made my list of iconic sports memorabilia I'd love to own. And I love that Travis Steele is doing what he's doing with his Red Sox team and how hopefully Miami can sign him long term. But on Friday night at halftime, he completely lost it. And I'm going to show the clip right now. And after I do, I have a couple questions for both of you. So pay attention, and I want you to start forming your opinions now.
Yeah, so Travis Steele, he's not happy with.
So this is halftime. He is pissed.
Well, Miami's trailed at half for this season.
He's like, "Oh, you're teeing me up."
And they're going back. And
he got teed up there.
And Steele is fired up, maybe trying to send a message to his team.
He just will not let it go.
The poor assistant.
And then here's his equivalent of the chair throw. Watch this. He literally destroyed the speaker.
Yeah, the emotion's starting to pour out a little bit here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he destroyed that speaker. And he recently got fined $2,500, and he had to pay for any damage done to replace that speaker. He was clearly pissed about the officiating. He does get teed up. But here's my first question. And it's kind of a two-parter to this first. Do you like when a coach kind of goes off the rails like this, when his team is struggling, even though he got a technical foul? Do you think this stuff helps get the team back on track, back on the rails?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
I think it was probably calculated.
Yeah.
When you don't lose games, you can't motivate in practice as well. And there's a lot of very good coaches who want to lose the last game of the season before the conference tournament and motivate their team and tell them they're not as good as they think they are. They should stop reading the rankings and their press clippings and how they're going to be NBA stars and get down and dirty and jump on the floor and practice hard. And I think there's a good chance this was all thought of before this game. And he was going to find a way to get angry and be able to yell and kick and scream in the locker room and all week during practice and tell them how much of a fight they have ahead of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And, that's a good coach. That's a really good coach. So,
Yeah.
there's my gut reaction.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, I totally agree with Mike. I think it's funny because when you're watching a coach that has no affiliation to your own fandom, it just seems funny. Like it just seems kind of goofy. Like I mean, I do consider myself a world-class lip reader, and when it comes to angry sports things, so just love reading his lips there as he's cursing out each one of them. He's pointing at each one. It's just classic. When it's your own guy, when it's your own team, it carries a different significance. And I think that's what's interesting, right? Is that you saw Lou Piniella losing his mind as the manager of the Mariners, and it was like, light a fire under these guys. Like you're just loving it. So I really
love
agree
seeing
with Mike.
people lose their minds. Like I love like George Brett with the pie tar thing.
Oh,
like I love seeing, I love seeing Travis Steele do that. And I do. I think it is calculated, your point, Mike, and I think it was smart in this case. And then you've kind of basically answered it, but I'm going to ask one more question here in a minute. But first, I got to show how the game ended, and I got to give some love. So this kid you're about to see, he's a freshman. He went to our high school right down the street. He knows Brady. He's actually knows Cooper, my little one. His name's Trey Perry, and this is how the game ended.
To get to 29-0. Here's Perry working on Ryan. It's going to be Trey Perry. The left hand. It goes for Trey Perry. And the foul. And Trey Perry wins it.
Nice.
So, that was
the rant worked.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked.
The rant worked. So that is my final question. So I know we talked general, but in this particular case, do you think they win this game if he doesn't do that? I know you're never going to know for a fact, but I think
I doubt it.
I agree, actually. I think him doing that, not only for all the reasons you said, Mike, and you kind of alluded to this point too, but he was so fired up. I mean, he wasn't faking it. I mean, he was pissed. Now, whether or not that was manufactured to begin with, whatever, but he was so fired up. I think that in the locker room, it wasn't just him doing that there. It boiled it over to the locker room where he's all pissed, telling them, guys, you suck and you need to get it going. And I think that energy carried over into the second half. And I do think it made a big difference.
I once went to a coaching or a referee banquet, and the guest speaker was a top D1 referee. And he told a story about how the team was not doing so great. And he started yelling at the ref, and he wandered out to the middle of the court, and the ref came over, and the coach said to him, the alumni, the top ticket holders are getting really mad with our team this year, and they don't think I'm doing my job. The only thing that makes them happy is if I yell at you and get thrown out of the game. So I'm just going to start screaming at you.
Funny.
Please throw me out, because then they'll be proud of me for the first time in 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
And he said he stood there for a minute, and then he ejected him. He hadn't said anything bad. He was just basically gesturing and moving his mouth. He threw him out. And after the game, he saw the guy in the tunnel, and he said, "Thanks a lot. That helped. So,
dude, it's like Norman Dale in Hoosiers, where he's like, ask the ref, throw me out, throw me out.
And Eric, I have a red chair signed by Bobby Knight.
You do not.
I do.
Dude, not the chair though.
Not the chair, but a chair.
That's still pretty cool.
Like yeah.
Did you get it from him, or you just?
I bought it. He did a signing thing, and I bought it. So
you should have asked him to throw it first before I gave it to you.
That's really cool.
That's so cool. All right, guys. Well, great job as always with the hot takes. Those were fun, but it is now time to get into this week's Stone Cold Locks.
Yo, fatten your wallets, cash those tickets. 9 picks coming and we do not miss it. Stone cold confidence, numbers don't lie. Every lock loaded, it's time to ride. From kickoff to the final clock. These are stone cold locks.
Guys, we had another nice week. Each of us got one top 10 pick correct. Bill, you did hit with Shane Lowry, although could have got the win there. Could have got a bonus point. I hit with Rasmus Højgaard. So we each got 1 point. And But Pat, man, he brought it strong with his long shot pick of Joel Damon, and that gives him 2 points. So Pat may struggle with Be My Guest, but he is the king of Stone Cold Lock so
He
far
needs
this
to be
season,
betting
and
his golf
he
picks.
tops our leaderboard. I know. Everyone does. This is the third week in a row where we've all three hit top 10 picks.
My crush and fade picks have been on fire.
Yeah,
too.
they have. They have.
It's just
So
crazy.
Pat's at 7, Bill's at 4, I'm at 3. And we're going to do the same thing. 3 golfers finish top 10. 2 can be any players except Scotty. Can't pick Scotty. And then 1 must be a long shot at plus 10,000 odds or higher. All right, Paston, you want to lead us off?
All right. This is why I can never do this fill-in thing 2 weeks in a row, because I don't want to be held accountable for my pick. So it's easy because I'll never know. But my first one will be Tommy Fleetwood. He's top 10 at the Riviera. He does top 10 at Pebble Beach. And the most fascinating fact about Tommy Fleetwood, which you might not know, is he's 35 and his wife is 58.
What?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of these tournaments, when
Bonkers.
these young guys win and the most beautiful women come out to give them a big hug because they just became multimillionaires again.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Tommy Fleetwood, she's 23 years older than him. And I find that fascinating.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's, you don't,
Yeah.
you see the opposite, but you don't see that.
He needs to win so I could see her come out there and just get a look at this whole setup thing going on. But, you know, good for him. I just think he's more consistent and playing really well. So he's due. It's time.
Yeah, it's 2 and 3.
Kurt Kitayama. Tied second at the Genesis. I don't know if he'll win, but I think at plus 4,400, he's a good play. It's another guy that just seems ready to have a few top 10s in a row, and maybe he'll pull this one out. So there's my first 2, and then my long shot, which is really just throwing a dart at the board. I'm going to go again, like I think I did one other time, with Max Gracerman. He's just an interesting character to me. He's a smart guy, Duke graduate, economics degree. His dad's some PhD investor genius in New York who teaches at Columbia. And he's from New Jersey, and he has his moments. He has some good rounds. He has had a few good tournaments along the way, but I'd just like to see this guy put it all together and be at the top of the leaderboard on Sunday. So I'm going to stick with Max, even though he's getting me nowhere, but I'll give it a shot.
Nice.
It's my 3. Yeah.
I like it.
I love it.
All right. So we got a 2-pat here with my first one. I went with Tommy Ladd, Tommy Fleetwood. Saw him at plus 1,900. That feels like stealing. He's got a great course history on this track. Mike mentioned his last 2 top 10s. So he's coming in good form as well. He even played well on TGL. So I don't know if you guys ever watched that, but he's been striking the ball great. My second one, I'm going with Sugar Shane. Plus 4,500. And this is simply because I love this guy and just I want to see him rebound. This is like a heart, not head pick. He could be, it could take him a while, if ever, to come back from that sort of collapse. But honestly, when I thought about it, and hopefully he's thinking about it the same way, he played great all week outside of those 2 horrendous swings. And if he can just avoid that disaster, you'd think with his ball striking, his short game, the fact that he got up and down for double on that first hole, that
was
bunker
impressive.
shot he hit was insane. So anyway, I just love Sugar. I want to see him get back. And then my third one, my long shot, and you mentioned him, Pat picked him last week, but I'm going Joel Damon. He's plus 15,000. The guy earned entry into the API this week. He also made the players because he's been in such good form. He's also a UW Husky. So what's not to love?
Wow.
I'm going Joel Damon plus 1,500.
Wow.
Or 15,000.
Nice.
Sorry.
Lowry could go the other way and not even make the cut. I mean,
yeah.
He could,
100%.
He could be in counseling
100%.
10 hours a day.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. It's a heart pick, not a head pick for me this week.
All right. I am my number one. I'm going Matt Fitzpatrick, plus 2,600, plus 450, plus 205. Guys, his stats have been on fire this season so far. He only has one top 10 finish, but he's made 15 consecutive cuts. He's number one in ball striking, number 3 in greens and regulation, number 7 in driving accuracy. He finished 22nd here last year, 14th in 2023. He did miss the cut here in 2024. I just feel like I'm seeing him in contention on the weekend while lately. I like him these numbers. So he's my first pick. Number 2, I'm going with Corey Connors. He's got higher numbers than normally my number 2 would pick. He's a B. He's at plus 7,800, plus 1075, plus 455. Always liked this guy. Even though he's had mixed results this season so far, he's been up and down. This pick is solely because of his performance at Bay Hill over the years. Listen to these finishes the last 5 years, guys. Last year, he finished 3rd. 2024, 18th, 2023, 21st, 2022, 11th, 2021, 3rd. So 2 top 5s in the past 5 years, all 5 appearances, 21st or better. So I like Connors at these numbers. And then for number 3, I'm going with Sung Jae Im for my long shot, plus 12,000, plus 1,800, plus 650. This guy's always a consistent player on tour. His numbers are so low here because he's coming off injury. He hasn't played yet this season. But at this value for our dark horse, I will gladly take him. Similar to Connors, he's done really well on this course. He's finished 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st twice in the past 5 years. So very consistent. Maybe you want to bet top 20, not top 10 if you're going with him, but he knows and likes the course. Now, how well he'll shake the rust off and whether or not he's fully healed from this injury, that I don't know, but I think it's worth throwing a couple bucks at him at these numbers. So he's my long shot.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, boys, it is your favorite ranking portion of the show. That's right. It is finally time for this week's Top 5.
Sports, pop culture, and everything right. Don't like our list, make your own tonight. Buckle up, it's time for the Top 5.
As I said earlier, we are less than 2 weeks from Selection Sunday, and I am pretty darn excited about that. Last March Madness, we talked about and ranked our favorite great games and great teams through the years, but today I want to talk great hoops players. So in honor of March Madness and all the awesomeness this annual tourney brings, we are going to share our 5 favorite college basketball players of all time, but there are several catches, so pay attention. 1, they cannot be actively playing college basketball today. 2, they must have played in at least one NCAA tournament. They don't have to be known specifically for their March performance, but they do have to have played in the postseason at least once. Only one homer pick allowed. And most importantly, they cannot be in the Naismith Hall of Fame. College Basketball Hall of Fame's fine. That's different. But the Naismith Hall of Fame, these are great college players, not necessarily all-time great pros. And you can't pick players that are going to be surefire Hall of Famers when they retire, such as Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. You can use whatever criteria you want. They don't have to fill all 5 positions either. So if you want 5 guards, go for it. The goal is simple, though. Give me 5 college players you loved watching, remember from March, or would just want on your college hoops dream team. All right, Paston, lead us off, sir.
All right. I'll start with Lionel Simmons, an oldie.
LaSalle.
1990. Yeah, LaSalle.
The L train.
There's my homer to get it out of the way first. 3,000 points, over 3,000, over 1,100 rebounds, 115 consecutive games in double figures. 115. Wow. That's impressive. He was a player of the year in 1990. A superstar for a small school that really had 4 good years, and it was his 4 years. Yeah. Other than that, we got to go back to Tom Gola to have other moments. So my first one will be Lionel Simmons. All right. My second, I'm going to go with Greg Oden from Ohio State. He was the first pick for Portland. Excellent 1 year at Ohio State, but an incredible year. He really dominated college basketball, but then he got injured and really never had any NBA career at all. But what could have been? He was really quite a player. Unfortunately, he should have stayed in school maybe. so we had more years to enjoy. But those will be
Sorry, I should have said, Mike, you're not allowed to pick Ohio State players either.
Yeah, well, I don't like them either,
Okay,
but he came to mind. So
no, he was very good. And those teams with Thad Matta was the coach, those teams were really good.
Right.
Good.
All right, my number 5. I went with Shane Battier.
Yeah.
Right? Battier with
one.
Duke. I just love defensive-minded players. Gary Payton, probably my favorite basketball player of all time, but Shane was just so gritty and tough. He did all the dirty work. I just love those types of players. This blew me away in doing some research too, is that he was 3 times Defensive Player of the Year in college. I mean,
Wow,
that's
impressive.
crazy to think about, right? And so, just let that sink in. I thought that was a cool stat. My number 4, I went with Larry Johnson, UNLV, Grandmama, right? Remember his celebration, his LJ Selly? My buddy Blake in college, he loved Larry Johnson. And so whenever the Charlotte Hornets were playing the Sonics and we were in college, Blake would always he had this jersey and he'd always just, try to represent LJ. And so I think there's a little bit of fond memories there as well with Larry played, and he played for Tark. Those UNLV teams were fun. So
yeah,
those are my 5 and 4.
Nice. All right. So for this one's tough for me, my number 5, because I'm choosing this one as my homer pick over Wally Zerbiak. It was close, but I got to go with David West of Xavier. He went there from 99 to 2003, just at the same time I was getting my MBA from there. Cintas Center, which is their arena now, beautiful arena, was being built at that time. And they had some decent teams prior to West, but this was the era Xavier really started to be good at basketball year in and year out. And West just deserves a lot of credit for helping him get that point. He was 3-time Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, becoming the first player in league history to do that. He was the 2003 AP National Player of the Year. He was a consensus first team All-American, A10 Defensive Player of the Year, A10 Tournament MVP. He recorded Xavier's first ever triple-double. He finished his career with 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. He was named to Sports Illustrated's All-Decade Team in the 2000s. And in case you're curious, he was joined by UConn's Emeka Okafor and 3 Duke players, Jay Williams, J.J. Redick, and Shane Battier. So he also ended up playing 15 years in the NBA. He won 2 championships, was a 2-time NBA All-Star. So he's my number 5. Just loved watching that guy in college. And number 4, I'm going to Arkansas and the 40 Minutes of Hell teams in the early 90s, led by Corliss Williamson. This guy was so freaking good. He played 3 seasons from 93 to 95. He had a career total of 1,728 points, top 10 in school history, even though he only played 3 seasons. 2-time SEC Player of the Year in 94 and 95. He was a 2-time second-team All-American. He led Arkansas to the 1994 National Championship with a 31-3 record, was promptly named the most outstanding player for the Ayers tournament. He also led Arkansas back to the Natty game the following year, 95, where they lost to UCLA. His number 34 jersey is retired at Fayetteville. He played 12 years in the NBA. That's my 5 and 4.
Okay, back to me.
Yep.
Number 3, I'm going with Hank Gathers. I don't know if you Hank Gathers.
Oh, yeah.
I feel dirty for not even thinking of him.
Yeah, Loyola Marymount with his buddy Bo Kimball. Paul Westhead was the coach, and they used to put up, 140 a night running up and down the court. And he led the nation in scoring and rebounds in 1989. Only the second player to do that ever at the time. Quite a talent, and terrible, tragic ending during the West Coast Conference tournament. He had a heart attack and died, and it was terrible. But boy, was he! What an athlete!
So good.
That team and the stamina and the way they ran people out of the building was tremendous. Number 2, I'm going to go with Danny Ferry of Duke. He was the number 2 pick overall. That same year, 1989, he made 3 Final Fours, over 2,000 points, over 1,000 rebounds, over 500 assists. First person in the ACC to ever do that. and he won the championship as a senior. And, he is what you want as a college player. If I was a coach, he would be my ideal player. He made
was
everybody
good.
better, and just one hell of a college player. So
Love
that's
it.
3 and 2.
Loved him.
Nice. Very good. I always remember Bo Kimball shooting that free throw left-handed too as the tribute.
And he
So
made them.
such a cool.
And he made it. He always made them. Too,
I don't even think he hit rim. Yeah,
No.
pretty impressive. Yeah, that was a good one, Mike. My number 3, I'm gonna throw a little love Eric's way here. I'm going with Glenn Rice from Michigan.
He's so good.
So there's a little bit of a personal connection here because when they won the title in 1989, it was played in the Kingdom
in Seattle.
Seattle. And for years after that, I actually got to play on that hardwood in the pro club in Bellevue. So all of the basketball I played over that from 1997 until I was a member there until 2017. And so I played basketball on that same floor, which was neat. It was painted the same way, it was the floor. So anyway, it was just kind of a cool thing. I just love Glenn's game. He was so silky. I loved his ability to score, sweet jump shot, great overall player. So Glenn was my number 3.
He's the reason they won that. He was incredible. He I think set the record for most 3-pointers at the time in the tournament.
Yeah,
or
just such
points, maybe point. Yeah, I mean, I think it was points. I think he scored the most points in the tournament up to that time. So.
Yeah, the other kid that was so good on that team was Ramil Robinson, and he didn't really have the pro career that Glenn did.
You talk about ice water in that guy's veins. He had to hit 2 free throws to
clutch.
Clutch.
Yeah. My number 2 is Kemba Walker from UConn. Just the definition of clutch in college. And I'll always remember it was the Big East tournament played at Madison Square Garden, that insane game against Syracuse. I think Johnny Flynn might have been playing on that Syracuse team, but it was just back and forth,
Crazy
and maybe
game.
4, 5, 6 overtimes, whatever it was. I mean, I don't even remember now, but it was just insane. But Kemba was awesome, and it turned out having a really good pro career as well. Not as good as maybe I would have thought, but a couple of these guys that have been mentioned, David West being another one, awesome fantasy producers for me through the years. Kemba Walker was like that as well. David West was a machine for fantasy hoops. So anyway, Kemba Walker is my number 2.
Great choices. So I have always loved Gonzaga, guys, and just that whole mid-major story. I often root for them to win the whole thing. They've had so many great players through the years. So I had lots of choices, but I got to go with a guy who had great stats. And while he didn't get them to the Final Four, he did take them the furthest they had gone at the time and started to lay the foundation for Gonzaga basketball being able to really compete for the whole thing. And he had one bitchin' mustache. So I'm going with Adam Morrison as my number 3. He played 3 seasons, 03 to 06. He averaged nearly 20 points per game in his college career. He was, as a freshman, he made an impact. He was West Coast Conference All-Freshman team. He was named first team All-West Coast Conference as a sophomore AP honorable mention as a sophomore. As a junior, he averaged 28 points per game and was the nation's overall leading scorer that season. Also named co-national player of the year that season, along with Duke's JJ Redick. He just was a scoring machine. 13 games of 30 plus points, 5 games of 40 plus points, and he led Gonzaga to the Sweet 16 that season, where they ultimately lost in just an iconic emotional finish to UCLA. He was drafted 3rd overall by Charlotte. He only lasted 5 seasons in the league, but he did win 2 NBA championships, so at least he has that. He may not have translated well to the pros, but in the college game, not much were better when he played, and just loved him and the Zags. So he's my number 3. And then for my number 2, guys, all right, my number 1 was pretty easily my number 1, but this guy was pretty easily my number 2, and they played roughly the same time period. This guy was responsible for one of the greatest NCAA runs ever with Danny and the Miracles. I'm going with Danny Manning of Kansas, where he played from 1984 to 1988. And funny story about this guy and that massive upset in the Natty when he and the Jayhawks beat heavily favored Oklahoma. Me and my buddies, we were on the freshman basketball team at the time, and we all told the coach of the sophomore team the day of the game that we thought Kansas was going to win the game. And we had off-season workouts with this coach every day already to prep for the next season because the freshman season was already over. We were already looking for the sophomore season. We had to do these workouts. He said there was no way Kansas was going to win. In fact, if Kansas won that game, he would cancel the next day's workout for us. Okay. So we are all excited. We get together at one of my buddy's houses. There's like 5 or 6 of us all around, probably a 19-inch television watching this game. Because guys, these workouts were brutal. I mean, a lot of run. It wasn't basketball. It was like running, conditioning. Yeah. So we were all watching this game, rooting so hard for Kansas. They won. We were elated. Next day, that asshole coach reneged on his promise, made us do the workout anyway, and I have never forgiven him. What a dick, and I hope he's still coaching sophomore basketball. So, all right, here are some stats about Manning and how good he was. 4-year starter, left KU as the program's all-time leading scorer and rebounder. He was the Big Eight's all-time leading scorer at the time with almost 3,000 points, 2-time consensus All-American, swept all the National Player of the Year awards in 1988. Kansas was 21-11 that year, entering the tournament, number 6 seed, but took him to the NCAA title. In the championship game, he brought it big time. 31 points, 18 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Of course, was named the Final Four most outstanding player. Number 12 all-time scorer in NCAA history. Was named the Big Eight Player of the Decade. Of course, his number 25 jersey is retired by Kansas and later ranked by Sporting News as one of the greatest players of the expanded bracket era. He was drafted number overall. More was expected of him. He still played in the NBA for 15 years. He was an all-star twice, won the 6th Man of the Year in 1998. So great college player and one of my all-time faves.
Nice, but not a very good college coach.
No, he was not a good college coach. That I'll give you.
Good pick.
Yeah.
All right, for number 1, nothing to do with how good a basketball player he was. Purely emotion and great story. I am going with Adrian Payne, Michigan State, who embraced Princess Lacey Halsworth when they were a team that got a lot of national publicity. The 8-year-old who was dying of cancer, and really turned her into a star. And it was just such a great story that I fell in love with this guy. I mean, he was just a class act and understood what life was all about. And I just think it was a wonderful moment. And so I'm putting him on my list as number 1, Adrian Payne.
Yeah, that's
love it.
I just got chills.
Yeah, me too. And I just love Izzo. So it's just I just love Sparty. Hoops, that is. My number 1, I've saved my homer pick. Brandon Roy, Husky great, Husky legend.
Yeah, I should have.
Seattle kid.
Yeah, good one.
Such a fun UW player to cheer for. And really, if not for degenerative knee, he would have had an unbelievable run. I think he would have been a Hall of Famer in the NBA. But unfortunately, his career was cut short in the pros. But speaking of number 1 seeds for my beloved Washington Huskies, that was Brandon Roy. And that year, and Lorenzo Romar had a really good run. He did a great job of recruiting the best players from the state of Washington. And this has been a basketball hotbed for a long time. A lot of talent has come out of the city, and Brandon was the number 1 representative of that. So many other greats as well to come out of here, but he is my number 1 Husky basketball player of all time. So he's my number 1.
Great.
Yeah, Brandon Roy, he was good. That Washington team was really good. Bill, how far did they go? The year
they lost in the second round.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah,
I think it was a Patino team, if I remember right. And yeah, it was heartbreaking. They just didn't have a great day, and Louisville got them. But
that was another
Sweet
team.
16. Might have been Sweet 16.
Okay.
Could have been.
I was expecting Louisville to have more number 1 seeds. I forget where they were now, back on our Be My Guest, but I think they had 2 or 3. All right, well, guys, as is often the case for me with these, my number one was pretty easy. This was my favorite player growing up. I would always pretend I was this guy. The first book I ever read for fun was Season on the Brink by John Feinstein. This guy was on that Indiana team coached by Bobby Knight. I'm going with Steve Alford. Alford played 4 seasons under Bobby Knight. 2,438 points, Indiana's all-time leading scorer at the time. He was a 4-time team MVP, the first player in IU history to do that. 3-time first-team All-Big Ten. In his final 3 seasons, he led Indiana, of course, the 1987 national championship game against Syracuse, where Keith Smart made the game winner. Named one of the top 10 NCAA players of the 1980s by the Sporting News. He only lasted a few seasons in the NBA, but he has been a college coach now for more than 35 years, including in Iowa and UCLA and some other stops. He's been at Nevada now since 2019. I loved this kid. I playing for Knight and playing for Indiana. So he was my favorite player as a kid, and he's my number one for sure.
Good pick. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen. Well, Bill, anything pools we want to talk about? I know March Madness is coming
More
up.
to come next week.
Not yet. Next week we'll throw it all out there. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So excited. Just like Christmas Eve over here.
Best time of the year. I know. One of
Yeah.
the best times of sports here for sure. Well, guys, we have come to the end of the show today. Mr. Paston, once again, you have absolutely crushed it. As always, we are so grateful to you for helping us. So thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thanks, Mike.
Bill,
Thanks for having
Bill,
me.
so fun doing this show with you every week. Appreciate you, man. Really do. I love doing this and wish we could keep it going today, but sadly, it is time to exit Sandman Sports. We'll be back next week, though, so don't worry. Have a great weekend, Sandman Nation. Peace out and take care.
Good luck, everybody.